Hey Panda,
Yes, Stallion.
do you have the time?
It's about 3:16.
Wrong. It's time for episode 2 of RNGeez, aptly named after the Seasons of Opulence drops, because we said we would do that last week, and we're nothing if we're not consistent.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure, dude. I'm very happy. We have so much to talk about.
We
We go over
do.
like pinnacle quests, all the menagerie jazz, um,
There's so much to
other
talk about.
stuff.
So, how has
Yeah,
your first
we
week
have a
been
big list.
since
It's
the
been
last?
super fun. I've had so much fun with this season. All the new stuff is it's kind of jamming. I
Oh
really
yeah.
like everything. It's great. But I think if we look, if we're gonna start, we have to talk about yesterday and what we spent 12 hours doing. Because there's just I don't think there's a better way to start.
I
To be
don't think
perfectly
so
honest.
either.
So what did we spend 12 hours doing yesterday, Panda?
We did a whole bunch of comp.
So much comp.
So much comp. I think in total we played like 33 games of comp,
Yeah.
and we had like a 60% win ratio, except for those last 7 games. So,
We don't talk about those last seven. It didn't happen. We were not in a good place mentally. We were, 11 hours deep and it was just too much.
yeah.
Well, like 10 hours deep.
But
But it was
that's
super fun.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think I've ever had that much fun in comp ever.
Yeah, I mean, I've had fun in comp before, but man, never for that long
Yeah,
consistently.
for sure.
Like, even when we had a bad or even when we lost games, I never felt bummed about it. I was just like, that was fun. And I think it's because of the change to the Pinnacle Weapon Quest, not needing to hit 2100 anymore, and instead just needing 3500 overall glory to get the Pinnacle Sniper, the Revoker. I think it kind of takes the pressure off a little bit, so you can have fun with comp a bit more.
Yeah, and we still had some sweatier matches, especially towards the end of the night. But they
Oh,
were
for sure.
still like, it wasn't like, man, this is ridiculous. I don't want to be here. It was, man, this is ridiculous, but we could still win it. Like, there were some
Yeah,
really, really, really close games that we had where it
yeah.
was
I
down
mean,
to
there
like the last couple points.
were even some really weak, like by the skin of our teeth.
Yeah, definitely.
And outside of your connection issues, it was a really great day. My
Yeah.
dog is barking in the background. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Someone literally just finished mowing the lawn. That's why I kind of delayed starting this.
Oh, okay.
So, what weapon are we going towards for those people who are kind of not in the know?
Well, it's the new Pinnacle Crucible weapon. It's a sniper rifle called the Revoker.
Mm-hmm.
Very excited to get it because I spent all morning brushing up on facts about it. Fun fact: did you know that it has the same zoom scope as Twilight Oath? Apparently, didn't
Yes,
know
it
that.
does. Yep, 35
Um,
zoom.
yeah, 35, and the next lowest is like 40, right? So those are the only two with that low of a zoom.
Yep.
Very excited to play with it. The only thing that worries me a little bit about the weapon is that it has ridiculously low handling, but it does have a handling masterwork, so maybe.
It should be around the 40s with handling. Plus, it has snapshot, which
Yeah.
is going to just overall make it feel
Yes,
better.
it does.
But taking it
So
out
I
and
mean,
stowing it might be a little bit of a challenge.
and it's got the lowest zoom scope shared with Twilight Oath.
Yep.
It looks really cool, but those aren't even the things that make it special. The thing that makes it special is that if you miss a shot, if you miss, then 2 seconds later, the shot will just reappear in your mag.
Yep.
As long as you don't reload or take a second shot too quickly. So there's no reason not to go for really dumb shots, which I think is 100% what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna run around the crucible trying to no scope people left and right. I don't hit no scopes very often, but I imagine I'm gonna be hitting a few more once I get Revoker because I just don't have to worry about that ammo.
And from what I've heard from people who have had the weapon, the hitbox is pretty forgiving. So even if you
Okay.
don't hit the head, you're still gonna, majority of the time, at least as long as they're, center screen and your crosshairs are kind of close, you're gonna hit the body.
solid, good enough. And then if you don't hit it all, it doesn't matter. It's not a wasted shot because you just get it right back. It's so ridiculous. So get it.
Super excited for that. You know what's another weapon that I thought is actually really interesting?
What's that?
Hush.
Hush. Okay.
So, because it's a bow, opening shot
Yep.
procs every single time.
Okay. I didn't know it came with opening shot.
And when you draw back the bow, right, it takes 0.6 seconds, which is the lowest for all bows, period, right? That's the
Sure.
baseline. When you get Archer's Gambit going, it draws back in 0.2 seconds.
Dang.
For 7 seconds that can get refreshed every single time you nail that precision hit, and it's hits. So you can just go gung-ho.
It's hits, not kills. Okay.
And with opening
And
shot,
obviously it has a mod slot, right? So free hand grip.
free hand grip, yep.
Jam that on there for the increased accuracy from the hit.
Oh yeah. I just think
It's
it's
gonna
going to
be
be
really good.
a fun bow. It's not going to be like a top tier bow, but it's going to be a fun bow, which is what I'm excited for, and just having that fun factor, really.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I do want to get it. I do. Because I kinda it's an energy bow, right?
It is.
Yeah, I really want to go into PvP with just the Gambit loadout, Breakneck, Hush, and 21% Delirium.
Just full Gambit armor. Let's go. Here we go.
Just yeah, maybe my Invader armor, run around in maybe even comp, looking like a PvE player.
Everyone's an invader.
Everyone's an Invader. That's it. Where's the Primeval at? And then a Hammer Titan pops his super. Like there's the Primeval. Found him. It'd be great. I it's something I just really want to do, man.
Yeah, it's
I don't
definitely
know
gonna
about
be
the
fun weapon.
yeah, I don't know about the 21% delirium on that loadout though. I might end up running something else. But the main thing is I really want to run Breakneck Hush
Yeah.
because I think well, actually I don't even know that I'll need Breakneck. I think Hush, what with it being a bow, that's range covered, You won't get its perk to proc. Still, you have the distance because it's a bow.
Parcel?
I think close range you can just and you get the perk. Solid.
Yeah.
If you saw it across the board, I think it's going to be a very versatile weapon. It's not going to be even slightly,
No.
but it's going to be a lot of fun.
But if you by chance get the Archer's Gambit going, oh boy,
Yeah.
you're gonna have a stupidly fast time to kill.
I wonder if, like, okay, scenario.
Yeah.
You're on, let's say, Endless Veil. Okay, you're on heavy. It's just you. Two people rush you. You kill one of them. The other one pops his super. You play a warlock, right?
I do.
So you just go up in the air and you start hip firing like crazy with that really fast draw time. Do you think you'll be able to kill the super quick enough? I think it'd be really fun to try. I think that if you can, that clip will be hilarious.
One thing that came to mind when I was just now actually is get a warlock with empowering rift,
Sure.
and then a hunter with hush and the what is it called, oath keepers,
Mm.
because then you can
Yeah.
one tap to the head, and then you have the perk, and you have infinite draw time. So you can just
Well,
get it
Panda,
whole.
I'm just saying, you play a warlock, I play a hunter. Let's do this. Let's go. Right
Let's
after we
go.
get done recording this, let's go get Hush
Oh my god.
in one sitting, and then we'll just go and do this in PvP. I'm kidding. We're doing comp. We still don't have Revoker, and I need it in my life.
From what I've heard from Ninja Pups, who's an excellent content creator, it took him 7 hours to get Hush.
Psh,
So that's probably going to be another 14 for us.
whatever. Yeah, you're. Like if he's 7, it's we're not good at this game.
And there's 2 of us.
Yeah.
The final pinnacle weapon is Wendigo GL3. And from what I've heard and tested, or seen testing, is the damage that you get is about a 70% damage increase. which is
70?
70.
Okay, so that could be really interesting if, like, in a Warlock well, because that generates 2 orbs. If everyone just piles up in that well, picks up those orbs with wind, you just lay into a boss, for example. That's a massive damage increase there. And grenade launchers are in a decent place in PvE, I feel.
But you have to remember that the blast radius is at 5.
The blast radius gets an increase with the perk too.
Yes, it does. But starting from low, it's not starting at the blast radius of 30 like other adaptive frames. It's starting at a blast radius of 5. So a 70% increase from there is average.
But if you're shooting at a boss, I'm assuming that you're going for direct hits anyway, so the blast radius isn't super
It's not super necessary,
important.
but it's not going to be less than a full court spike grenades
Yeah.
Doomsday from last season.
Still, I think it's going to be worth getting and trying out just for the memes, if nothing else. I did see something earlier on, or maybe yesterday, someone saying that it could be fun to pair the Wendigo and Wave Splitter in PvP because they both benefit from picking up orbs.
Yes, for sure. I think it would be
I
interesting.
could see that.
It would definitely be interesting.
But at the same time, I feel like you kind of have to lean into which one of those two that you want to use with any given orb that you pick.
Well, I think you can stow Wendigo and just use the Wave Splitter until the timer runs out, then swap to Wendigo, get the orb, swap back, because it has auto-loading holster, and then you'd get the perk. So you just kind of be flip-flopping as long as you have ammo, which is doable in PvE, less so in PvP.
Yeah. Okay, that could be good. That could be interesting. I think the Wendigo is probably the one I'm least interested in getting right now, but I am going to go for it before the season. I just don't know that I'm going to grind for it like week 1, like we are with the Revoker.
Yeah, I think Wendigo is going to be like one of those halfway through the seasons I'm just going to naturally get.
For sure, for sure.
Versus Revoker, where we spent 10 hours yesterday grinding for it, and I'm super excited for this thing to get into my hands. I want it.
And we're gonna be doing the same in, I don't know, like an hour and a half or something.
Yep.
Whenever we get done with this, hopping right back into comp, and it's gonna be so sweaty.
So another thing that dropped with Season of Opulence is the Menagerie.
Yes, the new 6-man activity that is match made.
It is match made, and we ran a couple times. And
yes.
What was your first thought going through it? First time into Menagerie, what were your thoughts?
So my first time was on Tuesday, like an hour after the DLC dropped. I was in the Menagerie, and I was playing through all of the different activities inside of the Menagerie, and all I could think was, man, I suck at this, but we don't seem to be losing. Why are we not failing this? The timer's running out every time. What is happening? Does Callus just have a crush on me? And I think he does. I think that's what it is.
Probably.
But with further testing, I've discovered that it's really difficult to fail the Menagerie. So anyone out there that's like, oh, gosh darn, if only I had a team to go and get some really cool weapons with, you don't need them. You can solo queue. It's a little bit of a slog. It really is, on your own. But it's doable. Very, very doable. And it's really difficult to fail. Although, that said, we did join a team the other day that almost failed, didn't we?
We did, and then we hard carried them to finishing.
We hard carried, yeah. That was crazy. They were 4 activities in, and they were nowhere near, or 3 activities
I think
in.
We joined to the 3rd activity, and they had like a 5th of the percentage bar up.
Yeah, so it was not nearly enough for where they were. So if anyone doesn't understand how the Menagerie works in terms of winning, you'll see a progress bar just below your radar while you're going through all of the activities. I believe there are 6 different activities within the Menagerie, and I believe plus the opening, yeah, the lamp lighting, and then plus the boss fight. So I guess 8 total, but only 6 that are on timers. And those 6, there is a timer that will tick down and keep going down and down and down. And that's the amount of time that you have to get as many points as possible by completing various different objectives within each activity. None of them are particularly hard. It pretty much it all but tells you exactly what to do and how to win. But if you don't earn enough points through all 6 of the activities, I think that's how you fail. But it's so very hard not to get at least some points in each one of them that failing almost never happens. I'm yet to see anyone fail the menagerie. I'm yet to fail it myself. I'm incredibly tempted to find a 6-man team to go in and try to fail because I really want to see what happens.
One of the things that I've thought about with Menagerie is the good teams are going to finish it faster, but the bad teams are still going to finish. Like, if you solo queue and you get 5 randoms and you're all kind of just doing your own thing, you're still going to finish, but you're not going to do it as fast as, like, a 6-man who knows what they're doing, which is fine. You're still going to get the completion, which I think is a great option.
We did a run yesterday where we almost had it completed after only 3 of the 6 activities.
Yeah.
We did very, very well there.
And it was a group
we got
of
through
3
it quite quickly.
and 3 randoms.
Yes.
So it's totally doable to do in 20 minutes. We did it in 22.
Yeah.
Which was stupid.
A lot of that time was, well, not a lot, but a good chunk of that time was spent in the boss room too, because the boss is difficult. Interesting mechanics, but hard.
Yeah. And I think part of that is it's going to get slightly easier once we get up to level.
For sure, yeah. I'm. What level are you sitting at now? Do you know off the top of your head?
My max light is 717.
Okay, yeah, I'm about 721, I think.
Yeah.
So we're at a really good place now. Another thing about the menagerie, if you don't know the mechanics, as you complete the activities, Callus will demand that you fight tougher opponents, so the light level will go up. And what we've found is that by the 3rd wave of enemies, by the 3rd kind of set of difficult enemies, those enemies will be 740.
Yeah. But that also depends on how well you do. If you're
the
doing
base
well,
level for menagerie is 690.
Yeah.
So it's a big jump. But yeah, if you're doing, but you don't need to worry about that too much, because in my experience, the timer almost always runs out before we get to the 740 guys. We usually just have to sit around the 720s.
Which event did we actually get full amount for? I don't remember which one it was.
We almost got it for the hunted.
Yeah, gotcha.
We were 1 capture away.
But by then it was 740 and things were just hurting.
Oh, so much. They were hurting so much. Just being within sneezing distance of the knights was enough to kill me.
Oh yeah.
Like, they didn't even need to attack. They just had to look at me wrong and I was dead. And they looked at me wrong a lot.
So I'm actually really enjoying Menagerie. But it is week 1, so there's going to be a couple new bosses, and I think with that rotation, it's going to spice things up a little bit more.
Yeah. Also, the modifiers really, really, really change the Menagerie experience. Like, yesterday's modifiers were Heavyweight, Iron, Void Singe. All this week has been Void Singe, but Heavyweight and Iron are the 2 main modifiers that we had to keep our eyes on. And it was a lot easier, a lot more enjoyable than the day before when Blackout was on.
Yes.
Didn't like Blackout.
Menagerie has, if you didn't know, its own set of weapons that are going to be dropping. Stallion, you got a good rolled weapon from Menagerie. You want to talk about it?
I got more than one.
Yes, I know.
So I got the beloved sniper rifle, which a lot of people, and by a lot of people I mean everyone that's talked about it, has said is essentially turning from Destiny. I disagree. It has a similar sniper model, but it's a sniper rifle. How creative can you really get? It's got these jewels on it. It's all bedazzled. It's very nice. And it is so crispy. It's so crispy, and it has really interesting perks that it can roll. Um, if you want to know every single one of the perks that it can roll, there'll be a weapon breakdown in the description. But I'll give you an example of a few. There's the new perk, which is no distractions. When you ADS for a couple of seconds, you basically can't be flinched, which is one of the biggest issues with sniping in the game, is being flinched out by anyone and anything. Everything flinches. So hitting snipes is incredibly difficult unless you have the first shot. But with no distractions, you can kind of counter snipe a lot easier, which is super nice. And it can also roll with quick draw and snapshot simultaneously, which is one of the rolls that I got. It's so stupid. I was overcorrecting way too much. The gun is too light. It's too snappy. It's going to take me a long time to get used to it and be able to actually hit my shots with it. But it's super nice, and it's a very interesting perk combo.
It is the only
I
sniper that can roll that,
Yes,
which is
yeah.
wonderful.
A lot of snipers can't even roll one, or yeah, they can't roll one or the other. Like for example, the Twilight Oath, it can only get snapshot through the curated version. It can't roll quick draw at all.
The RNGeez can roll quick draw and snapshot, but they're in the same perk column.
Exactly, yeah. And then there's stuff like the Fate Cries Foul, which can only roll snapshot, no quick draw whatsoever. So it's very interesting to have both of them on the gun at the same time. And the crazy thing is, because the gun has a fixed sight, it instead gets barrel thingies, perks, barrel perks. That's it. So you can get like fluted barrel, which is handling increase. Yeah, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
So fluted barrel, handling increase, a handling masterwork, and then on top of that, quick draw and snap. It's crazy. The handling is too damn high.
But we're
And
not
it's
asking for it to come down.
yeah, don't change it. Bungie, if for some reason you're listening to this, don't change it. I love it.
Super excited.
But the one I've been using, like all of this morning, is actually quick draw mulligan. We got a quick draw mulligan roll, so it's like discount revoker.
Nice. Are there any
I was
other
having a lot of fun
weapons
with
that
that.
you are looking to grind out? Because I know I want Beloved, but it's taken a
Yeah.
back burner on a couple other weapons that I'm looking for.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna talk about one, but I'm gonna know that there are two more that I want to grind. But I'm gonna leave one of them for you because I know you're desperate to talk about it. You're chomping at the bit. I can hear it. So I want to get the shotgun. I do really want to get the shotgun. You were telling me that it can roll with trench barrel, but it's an aggressive frame, that sounds like a lot of fun to me.
Yes, it's called the Imperial Decree. It's the aggressive
Yep.
frame shotgun. The
Yes.
curated. I'm not sure if curated rolls can roll on menagerie weapons, but it does have a curated roll of grave robber and trench barrel, as well as it can get
Ooh,
trench
okay.
barrel, on its own, as well as feeding frenzy.
Okay. Wait. You can get. Okay. I didn't know that. See, I'm learning things. And if there's anything you don't know, weapon breakdown description. Seriously, check it out.
Yes, so there's some
But I'm
really
excited to
awesome
get that.
perks that you can get, and it's the only
Yeah.
aggressive frame shotgun that can roll trench barrel, which is just
And it's in the kinetic slot. So it's multi-purpose. Like you're never gonna get shafted by like match game or anything like that. It's just in the kinetic slot. You don't have to worry about matching shields. You're just gonna do a lot more damage to pretty much everything. So that's great.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
In terms of PvE shotgun, I think that's gonna become a top player very quickly.
yeah. Once people start getting more runes and people get this roll, or start hunting for it
Yeah,
after other weapons, it's definitely going to become a top tier weapon.
for sure. So then the last one I want is the Stringer
Yes.
Panda Takeover.
So the Outstringer is a kinetic 140 hand cannon, and it has insane base range. Its base range is 51. If you were to stack in all range perks, so full bore, accurized rounds, range masterwork, rangefinder, it has 3 less range than Ace of Spades. And you can get
Yeah.
Eye of the Storm, Outlaw, things like that, which just make it probably arguably the most consistent hand cannon kinetic 140 legendary hand cannon that you could probably get.
I'm gonna say this. This is a sweeping statement about a gun that I don't have and won't have soon. I'm gonna say that's gonna be the most consistent legend. Period.
I'd be excited to test that. I'm not sure.
Maybe Luna's Howl, because now that it's a 150, it is a very consistent 150.
Yeah. So I'd say it's the most consistent
And not
140. Definitely.
Yes, without a doubt.
The shame. The sad part is it can't roll kill clip, it can't roll
Yep.
rangefinder and a damage increasing perk like surrounded or rampage. But you can get demolitionist on it. You can get opening shot, rampage, outlaw rampage. So there's like PvE purposes, PvP purposes. But I'm itching to get my grips on it. I know it's going to be in the same spot as Revoker, which is kind of a shame. But yeah. I'm super excited for this.
That's where my beloved comes into it. Discount Revoker in my energy slot. Let's go.
I'll take my Twilight Oath. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fair.
But there's
so I can't think of any other weapons that are in the menagerie that I'm like super excited for. There are a couple that I've already gotten, like the Callus mini tool, which for some reason the name of it just kind of wigs me out. Yeah. I don't know why. It's just like, ew. But that it's got some interesting roles, but I don't think it's gonna take over as the most prominent SMG right now. And then there's the Drang, the new Drang variant thingy.
Drang Baroque.
I don't know anything about that.
It's pretty much it's a Drang. It's a sidearm. It has sidearm perks. There's nothing overly standoutish other than it pairs with Sturm to give it up to 99 overcharged rounds, which is stupid. But
oh yeah, I did see a screenshot earlier of someone with 111 Sturm shots loaded into their magazine because they had the 99 overcharge rounds.
That's so
ridiculous. Is just ridiculous. Yeah, it was so silly.
Pair that with like a...
Part of me kind of wants to bust him out and just go for it.
Yeah, because the damage was increased by 100%.
Yeah, it's true.
That's so much. So much.
I think they were trying to prime it for kind of Sturm sidearm to be a player in PvE activities, which it might be. I don't know. I haven't played much of PvE in the last few days outside of Menagerie, and I'm definitely not taking Drang Sturm into Menagerie.
Not yet, at least.
Not just yet, anyway. Yeah, maybe next week. We'll see.
But another weapon that I'm super excited for is, let's see, what's the name of it? Fixed Odds. It is a heavy machine gun. And it's a high impact frame.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you had mentioned something about that to me yesterday, I believe.
Yeah. So this fires at 360 rounds per minute, so that's the same as a high impact auto rifle. But because it's a power weapon, it just deals so much more damage.
You know what instantly pops into my mind when you say that?
What?
Doubles last week on Destiny 1 when those guys kept pulling power and it was always the machine guns and 3 tapping because they hit so hard.
Yeah.
I really hope that becomes a thing for us. Not for anyone else. I don't want anyone else to have this machine gun. It's for me and Panda exclusively.
But you know what's really cool about the Fixed Odds? It's the only other weapon in the game that can roll no distractions.
Oh, okay.
So
that'll be nice. Issues I do have with running Hammerhead in PvP is every now and again someone will kill me purely because they flinch me out and I miss a headshot. And then they get the heavy weapon or the heavy ammo, and it's just sad across the board. So if it has no distractions,
yeah. So for me, I'm looking for extended barrel for more range, ricochet rounds, more range, no distractions, and tap the trigger.
Yeah.
Because that's probably going to be a super, super consistent, long range killer.
You know what? I bet that'll be great for taking down supers too.
Yeah, for sure. Because then
Because as it stands right now, like the only time I will challenge a super in PvP is if I have my Hammerhead out.
Yeah.
So if I'm dealing that kind of damage with that bad, bye bye Storm Trance. It's amazing. But all right, so there are all these cool weapons.
There are so many cool weapons. If you haven't read up on the weapons, there will be a wonderful breakdown by someone that you might know, have heard of, in the description down below.
Some guy, he I don't know, he thinks he's some sort of, I don't know, animal or some, I don't know. He's a weird guy, but he already knows he's stuck. But okay, so all these weapons, all these interesting perks, and we've said that they come from the menagerie, but more specifically, you can pull these weapons with, I mean, fairly consistent odds. Well, I mean, 100% consistent odds if you have the right runes. So the chalice, right? How do you
Yes.
feel about the chalice letting you pick your rewards from an activity like this?
So, there's, what is it, 4 or 5 different runes that you can start off with in the first rune slot that'll determine what weapons you
I
get.
think there are 4 colors of runes because there's purple, red, green, blue, and then of those runes there is 3 types.
Okay, so there's 7 different rune starting points. There's an SMG, a sniper, rocket launcher, uh, hand cannon, sidearm, fusion rifle, and shotgun, which is all of the menagerie weapons plus a bunch of them. And then
Yep.
you can take that and expand it further by going into specific runes on rune 2, which give it either excellent, average, low RPM, or things of that nature, which give you a specific role. So if you pair
Yes.
a SMG with a excellent RPM, you're going to get the Callus mini tool every time.
I mean, or let's throw out the freebie that Bungie gave us. If you go with the Rune of Jubilation in the first slot, which is the sniper rifle rune, and then any red rune in the second slot, you're guaranteed to get the Beloved, which I will be doing at some point because I really do want to get no distractions on that bad.
But what I think is cool is you can kind of fine tune what you want to grind for, because there's 28 different weapons. Some of them harder to get weapons like the Erentil, a good Dustrock Blues, Dread Adventure, some Gambit Prime weapons, as well as Dreaming City weapons, which I think is really cool that we can
Yeah.
grind them in a specific way. So kind of, it's a little bit
It
of a
reminds me a little bit of Destiny 1 rank up packages,
yeah,
where it's like, do you want a weapon or do you want armor? But they've gone way further with it. Just want a weapon, it's do you want a sniper? And if so, which sniper do you want?
I do like it only
And it
because
goes even further than that because it's which sniper do you want and what masterwork do you can get crazy specific with that sort of stuff. The base perks are still randomly rolled and there's a decently big pool of perks. So it's still gonna take some grinding. It doesn't fully take the grind, but you know, this is as close to rerolling masterworks as we're ever.
yeah. So I think it's a good step in the right direction. I think Black Armory was a little too, I wouldn't say easy, but you knew what you were getting out of it. I mean, you're kind of getting the same thing out of the Chalice, but at least week
I
one,
feel
I
like
think it's different.
I think the menagerie, I really feel like I'm earning. You know, Black Armory, it was like, oh, quick 5 minute activity. Now that I'm on light level, everything's easy, and I'm guaranteed to get hand cannon. You know,
Yeah,
and then I go and oh, this hand cannon sucks. Well, I'll just go pick up another hand cannon frame, which, oh, how do you pick up hand cannon frames? Well, you need these little consumable doodads. I forget what they're called. Modulus reports.
Yep.
Anyway, you take these and then you go see Ada, and then Ada's like, "What up? I hate you. You're a guardian." Because Ada's rude. And then you frame, and then you 5 minutes, maybe a 15-minute cycle every time, and eventually you're gonna get something that you want. But with Menagerie, it's more like, okay, I need to earn the runes. I need to earn the specific runes that I need in order to get the specific weapon that I need. And by the time that you've got all the runes unlocked, there's going to be such a huge pool of runes that you could be getting that you're still going to have that tense moment every time you open up the chest, just like, please, 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 please be what I want. And it's constantly, you still kind of have the feeling of the grind, but it's a much more specific grind,
Yeah,
which I think is kind of better in my opinion.
I do think it's better. I do like this implementation better. I just can't really put my finger on why.
I think it's because it's more akin to, for example, the nightfall weapons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you go into the strike and you grind for this nightfall weapon, and you know which weapon you're going to get, but everyone has their own personalized god rolls when it comes to Destiny and the Destiny weapons. So looking at it and being like, yes, yes, oh no, all right, there's I don't know, it kind of adds to the looter shooter vibe of it instead of just like, for example, with Reckoning. I didn't enjoy Reckoning too much personally because you go in and you might get a weapon, and then that might be the weapon you want, and then it might have good enough perks that you use it. Whereas this is like you're getting a weapon, hope for the best on the perks. It's something you can actually work for instead of something just happens.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. It's like you have a goal in mind and there's a way to achieve it,
Mm.
which is my kind of grind.
I agree. I'm super excited to get back into Menagerie, but Menagerie is not the only thing that's happened within the season.
It's not.
There's
You sure? Pretty sure I've only played Menagerie.
So there's no new strikes, no new Crucible maps, but we are getting super amounts of that within season 8, which is the next season.
Shh, we'll talk about that.
We'll talk
I'm
about
kidding, go
that
ahead.
in another episode. Don't worry.
Yeah, I think once we have like the facts, all of the facts, we'll have an entire episode dedicated to it.
Yeah, for sure. We'll get to that later, but I am excited for that. I'm okay with waiting another season if it's going to be polished.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I don't want Bungie to rush anything because we've seen rushes in the past, and while it's still enjoyable, it's not enjoyable for very long.
Yeah. And you always have that feeling of this feels half baked. So
Yeah,
I'm okay with waiting, for sure.
definitely.
How do you feel about UI changes?
I hate it. I hate it all.
Yeah.
Sucks. I get it, but no. So they've moved the pursuits back in my day, of 4 days ago. Back in my day, when I wanted to check my progress on a bounty, I'd pull up my ghost and it'd be tracked. But if I wanted to track a different one, I would open up my inventory menu. I'd take a look at my hunter, go, damn, you're looking good. Then I would scroll to the right, and that would be it. That'd be my pursuits, all of them there. And if I needed a consumable, hit down on the D-pad, consumables, great, perfect. I had my rhythm. I had exactly everything I needed. It loaded as fast as something like that can load on a console. Not super fast, if I'm being completely honest. But I got used to it. It was just where it was. And Season of Opulence came and they fucked it all up, and they moved the pursuits to the destinations tab. So now you have the destinations, the map, the roster, and pursuits way on the left, and they take forever to load, and they've got the descriptions and weird thumbnails. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
So I was thinking about this last night. I don't mind Pursuits being its own tab because then you can be more in depth. You can get more percentages, better
I
descriptions.
mean, it was on Destiny 1. It had its own tab, the quest tab.
But I
They
would've
changed it
liked
there as well.
to the right of inventory, right before settings.
Yep.
So you have your character, and on the left you have your triumphs, then your collections, then your clan, and then
Yes.
going to the right you have 3 things also: the inventory with all your consumables, all of your transmat effects, all of your mods, all of your shaders.
Yeah.
Then you have your pursuits, then you have your settings, and it would be symmetrical.
Symmetry.
Oh my god, wouldn't that be
Yeah.
fantastic?
Symmetry in Destiny 2?
I know.
You crazy? What a clickbait title for a YouTube video. Just do it.
But I'm excited. I hope it comes back to that. I'm excited for new pursuits, but I don't like the UI changes because it just takes far too long to get
Yeah.
there from anywhere.
And not just getting there, not even just the pursuits, the shaders. They've changed the shaders.
They have.
Why? Why'd they change the shaders, Panda? Tell me.
I don't mind them changing the shaders, but they're not as accurate anymore.
Yeah, I would be fine with them shading the changes, and having the little effects on them, making them look all shiny or whatnot. I'd be fine with that if they were accurate to how they will look once, because they already were. But now
Yeah.
they've just it's almost like they looked at it and they were like, okay, we can make this accurate to how the shaders are gonna look on each armor piece. Be shiny, just go in the complete opposite direction and make them look nothing like anything that anyone has ever seen in the game before ever. Which one do you think the players are gonna want? And everyone in that boardroom was like, they're gonna want the first thing. They're gonna want they want it to be accurate. And the guy standing up was like, yeah. So let's make him shiny then. And then we got screwed. So that's that, I guess.
Oh yeah.
We're just stuck with it.
We're just stuck with it. I think
Yeah.
that's the least annoying UI change.
Speak for yourself. I change my shaders on a regular basis and I cannot find anything.
I think we'll adapt to that one a little bit easier than we will adapt to the pursuits.
Yeah, probably.
Which is why I think it takes a back burner for me.
Yeah, the pursuits are definitely gonna be rewriting my muscle memory a lot.
And then if they do change it back, oh boy, get ready.
Yeah, it's gonna be. it's like for the entire month of January, we keep writing the wrong year. It's like, fucking, damn it! It's, 2019 now, not 2018.
And then you
Same
get to
thing.
the end of January and you're like, oh, I got the year right, but now it's a new month.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just we're just grumpy old men who don't want anything to change. That's what it is. We're just sat here in our armchairs, yelling at kids, throwing tennis balls at people. Is that what old people do? I don't know. I don't hang out with old people much.
I don't know. But probably the final
I
thing that we
assume
want
that
to talk about today is the
Throwing
returning
Weathers
exotics.
originals at kids.
So there are 3 returning exotics. What are your thoughts? There are Peregrine Greaves, there is Astrocyte Verse, and Khepri Sting.
Yes. And for those not in the know, these are all returning exotics from Destiny 1. The Peregrine Greaves are Titan Boots, the Astrocyte Verse is a Warlock Helmet, and the Khepri Sting are Hunter Gauntlets. The only ones I've seen in depth have been the Astrocyte Verse and the Khepri Sting, which I actually got. I haven't seen much on Peregrine Greaves, but it's my understanding that they have not been changed much since Destiny 1, and if that's the case, dope. Super down for Peregrine Greaves remaining exactly the same because they were fun. And I don't think that they're too powerful, especially now that Shoulder Charge has a cooldown, which it didn't in Destiny 1.
Yeah, not only does
Shoulder
Shoulder
Charge is
Charge have a
infinite.
cooldown, but it's class neutral. Right? You build into the tree for Shoulder Charge, whether that's top tree,
Yes.
Striker, top tree, Sunbreaker, bottom tree, Sentinel.
Sentinel.
Each one of the Titan subclasses has a Shoulder Charge, so you're not locked to Striker
Yeah.
Titan, which I think is nice.
Another cool thing about the way that they did that Peregrine Greaves is it also means that you're kind of giving something up a little bit. For example, specifically, I'm going to talk about Striker because when I play Titan, I play bottom tree Striker. Bottom tree Striker does not have a shoulder charge. Top tree does. However, sorry. Has an incredibly powerful super, really nice, but it doesn't one shot. Giving up, and I'm giving up from. Okay, great. So it's a lot more damage, basically. And then the Khepri Sting. I don't remember what Capri Sting do. I believe it's when you have a charged melee, um, on Night Stalker specifically, land a, or it might be a kill, land a kill. It drops the smoke bomb, and then bomb effect, you gain tree, which is the middle tree part where you can see.
Yep. So Capri Sting is interesting, where you can either throw the smoke bomb and have it detonate and have um, the true sight, kind of like bottom tree or top tree Night Stalker, but you can also get it um, through your wombo combo pretty much anytime you land a melee shot, whether by throwing it or, stabbing someone.
Yeah.
And then Astrocyte is the last returning exotic, which I am excited to get my hands on personally, as a Warlock main. It basically reduces your blink cooldown so that you have the potential to blink 3 times in a row before the cooldown starts instead of 2. You blink further and higher, your weapon's ready very, very quickly, and you keep your radar. So it allows for very aggressive blink shotgunning, blink fusion rifling, blink sniping, pretty much anything that
blink
you want to do.
Provokering.
With blink, it allows you to just be more aggressive.
Which I think is good because the Warlock, all the other Warlock jumps are a little bit predictable. They're nice because you can kind of hover for a lot more. So you can hover and move and you're a little bit harder to hit, but they're not quite as fast as Titans. Titans are a lot faster and, harder to hit in the air. So I think with Blink, it's really going to throw people off flying against a Blink Warlock. Actually, it threw me off. I think I was playing against a Blink Warlock either yesterday during comp with you or this morning in quick play, and I just could not keep track of him. He was using the Astrocyte verse. I couldn't. Every time he blinked, I kind of just jumped in the air and hoped for the best, and every time I died.
Yeah. So there are 3 returning exotics. They all sound interesting. They all sound fun. I'm excited to get my hands on them throughout the season. There's none that I'm particularly grinding for, like doing powerfuls for, but I'm excited to get all of them. I think they're better than last season's exotics as a group. Lyra's Handshake was interesting. Getaway Artist was probably the most top tier, but all of the exotics this season sound interesting and fun.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the outlier of the the strongholds.
Strongholds for Titan, yeah.
Yeah, the Titan. It was kind of the exotic outlier, in that it was interesting, but it's not practical. And I think that may stand true for Capri Sting this season. Interesting. You're really gonna have to play into it. It's not gonna be so much of a general use exotic, whereas the other two, they just improve on something that you've already got, which is nice.
Fun fact for those of you who do have Titans and have the Season Pass, if you do pair it with Stronghold, you can get the new Throne Cleaver from the Menagerie, and there's a perk called Energy Transfer, where if you're blocking, you get energy for your class ability. So you can throw up a barricade, block with Stronghold, get health back, and then get your barricade back pretty quickly. But I think that's a very niche case scenario.
Oh yeah, incredibly so.
But at least it's there. It's an option. It makes Titans have that exotic, a little bit more usable.
Yeah, for sure. That sounds. That kind of sounds fun, but I don't know that it's gonna pry the Peregrine Greaves off of me once I get them, or other Titan exotics that I can't think of the name of. Antaeus Wards. That's one I like.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely interesting. I don't know if it's top tier. I don't know how it's gonna be. But it's there. It's an option.
But I think that even if exotics aren't, general use, very powerful exotics, should at least be situationally unique.
For sure, yeah. And with Throne Cleaver, I think that will make the Stronghold playstyle and niche playstyle shine.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, that sounds great. Can we get some of that love on Hunters, please? I wanna be niche.
We've talked on long enough.
Yeah,
So Stallion,
we should
where
really.
can we find you?
Me? Oh man, you can find me all over the place. I said that last week, and it's still not true. You can find me on Twitter at SirStallionTTV, or you can find me at twitch.tv/SirStallion. Um, Also, you can find me pretty active in our PS4 Scrim server, which there will be a link in the description, our Discord server.
Yep. So if you
If
want,
you're on PS4 and interested in semi-competitive gameplay, go ahead and join it. It's kind of small now, but we're working on it.
don't worry, it will expand before season 8 comes, which is where we'll probably push for it a lot more. Uh,
For sure.
you can find me at on Twitter at PandaPax with 2 X's, as well as a Discord server near you. More than likely, I'm on bajillion of them. Again, there
He's
will be a
everywhere.
link to a weapons breakdown I did at the beginning of the season. I will be publishing reviews for the pinnacle weapons as well as all of the exotics once I get my hands on them, so those will be coming out later on in the season, sprinkled through. I'm excited. This season's probably the most hyped I've been for a season since Forsaken,
Yes, definitely.
and I'm excited.
For me, I'm more excited for this season than I was Forsaken because I wasn't playing Destiny leading up to Forsaken, so it just kind of happened, and I was like, yeah, I'll pick up Destiny again, I guess. So I didn't know that I wasn't hyped for it. I didn't know what I was in for.
Yeah,
But this, I can see it all. It's just barely outside of my reach. I want it.
it's super
One other
exciting.
note for the weapon breakdowns and the reviews. Correct me if I'm super wrong here, but if you hate Reddit like me, they also get posted on the Charlemagne website,
Correct,
the
they
Warmind
do. If you want
thingy.
to
Yes.
find out more about them, I have a couple breakdowns already there. Just warmind.io/articles. The link will again be in the description. I
Yes.
have so many links I'm gonna have to find now.
So many links. I'll help you out. Don't worry.
So fun.
But that's it. That wraps it up for us. That was episode 2. How do you feel about it?
I'm, dude. Like I said, I'm super excited for the season and the future of Destiny 2. It's
We're in for a lot of exciting stuff over the next year or so.
yes, for sure, and I can't wait to get more weapons, more wonderful activities. Hopefully, like Menagerie, uh,
Yeah.
and things that I'm excited for. Because last season's Pinnacle Recluse was fantastic, but I wasn't super hyped for it. Whereas I am for Revoker, or even Hush, really.
Yeah. All right, excellent. So that's it.
We'll see you.
So we'll
next
see
week.
you again next week. We're gonna talk about the raid.
For sure. See ya.